What is going on, everybody? Mattalk is back. We're here to talk to you guys about everything that is going on in the world of Matlock, because that's all we did this weekend. That's the only thing that's happened. How are you, John?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to talking about maybe not the most usual courtroom drama or a show that has murder in it, but it also has comic books, so it's right up our alley. Comic books, murder, and classic courtroom dramas. That's what you can expect here at Mattalk, and I'm looking forward to talking about it, man.
Yeah, me too, man. So I pulled myself away from watching The Outer Banks, which is a show that I am vastly addicted to right now. It is so good. Everybody out there should go watch it. When I used to see this show advertised on Netflix, I thought it was Laguna Beach. Like, that's the kind of show I expected this to be. It is not. It is a mixture of Indiana Jones and Goonies, and it is really, really good. This is the most addicted I've been to a television show since I watched 24 back in the day. Like, I've been up till 1 o'clock. It's been a nightmare. I'm actually going to the Outer Banks next weekend. Kind of what prompted me watching this show, because Autumn's like, dude, it's like the Goonies, go watch it. So yeah, it's taken over my entire life. I don't do anything else except for eat, breathe, and watch this show, other than Mr. Awesome, the Matlock episode.
That's right. Okay, that's one thing that you're watching. So what else are you watching, man? Besides Outer Banks, which I've never heard of. So this is a new TV show that I will have to put on the watch list. Maybe. I still got a lot ahead. I got to catch up, man.
Well, yeah, you do.
I know.
Catch up.
I know. John. Because I haven't finished Andor. I haven't even watched Agatha all along. I haven't watched Daredevil yet. Although I'm about one season away from wrapping up Homicide: Life on the Street, by the way. So there's that.
That's your problem. You watching old stuff.
I know. Because I'm an old man. Can't you see the gray in this beard? What else are you watching, man?
What did I watch this week besides this? I don't even know. This has consumed my life. Work has been really, really busy, so I haven't really had much background going on this week. So it's been just this and podcasting stuff.
So you've been a busy man, you're saying?
I have been. What did I watch this week? I haven't watched anything. We talked about my feelings about Life of Chuck, didn't we? Such a good movie.
We talked about that on the cast, on the Three Geeks podcast. We did.
Okay.
Which, go over and check it out. If you missed it, go on over to the YouTube page, check it out.
I clipped it too, so you can just watch the review by itself.
There you go. Myself, I took in two older films because for those of you that maybe have not heard me talk about this, but here in Columbus, Ohio, we have the longest running summer film festival series in the United States. It's called CAPA. It stands for, of course, the Columbus Arts and Performing. Oh no, Columbus something Performing Arts. Oh no, Capitals Area Performing Arts. There you go. Eventually it would sink in. But anyways, CAPA is our arts department organization, whatever you want to call it, here in Columbus, Ohio. And every summer they do a couple months long festival of classic movies. I watched this past Wednesday, The French Connection with Gene Hackman and Roy Schneider. Never seen it before. I've heard very good things about it. I liked it. I don't know if it's all that it's hyped up to be, but it was enjoyable. It was a good cop drama. And then last night, I took in one of Alfred Hitchcock's early films called Spellbound, starring Gregory Peck, Ingrid Bergman. It's good, but it's a kind of a different tone for a Hitchcock film. It's not quite the suspense-driven type of vehicle that you're used to. This one's a little more heavy on the exposition, but nonetheless, I still liked it. It was pretty good.
Nice. I want to see that one. It's one I have not seen yet. I did. Yeah, I need to get back on Hitchcock. Like, I was doing so well. I watched Strangers on a Train. I watched The Rope. Like, I need to get back on my Hitchcock because I am not where I should be.
Yeah, well, they got another one coming up, I think in July, Marnie, which I've not seen either, and that's kind of another earlier one from his catalog. So personally, my favorite is I Confess from I think 1952. Montgomery Clift is the star. It's really well done. Yeah, about a Catholic priest who is told in confession about a murder, and then how he can't really talk about it, but really feels like he should. It's very well done. I Confess. It's right up there with Rear Window, North by Northwest, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Well, are you ready to discuss our episode of Mattalk for this installment, Jason?
Nothing. You didn't do anything else this week? Like, did you eat anything good?
No.
Nothing? Nothing good? Come on, John. I'm trying to think. What did I have to eat this week? I had.
Where are you going with this? We don't talk about food on this podcast. Where are you going with this?
We can. I had a Philly cheesesteak from O'Charlie's, and it was delicious.
Yeah, well, if we're being full honest here, I made burritos and ate them last night, and then paid the price this morning. I've been a little.
Nice.
My tummy's been a little. My tummy's been a little upset, so we'll just leave it at that.
All right, I'll let you continue the show.
All right. If you're ready to talk about this episode, let's get on into it. Here we go with our opening statements. The name of the show the name of the episode, is of course Mr. Awesome. Its original air date is April 17th, 1992. And I noticed there's a large gap between the last airing of the last episode that we did and this one. I don't know if there was some special presentation or something, some movie, some big event that they covered on NBC, but there was a large gap of almost about a month. I also told you off air, this is an episode I've seen many times because it seemed to be the one that was in heavy rotation on MeTV and Pluto and whatnot. But nonetheless, let's talk about a few guest stars. Our first guest star is a gentleman named Dirk Blocker. He will be known as the apartment manager. He may also know him as Jeff Shaw in Poltergeist, Hitchcock on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Mullins on The Prince of Darkness, the bartender in Beverly Hills 90210, Chuck Furnace on Pacific Palisades, and he also played the role of Vincent's aide in season 3, episode 14 and 15 of Matlock, entitled The Thief. This was the episode where we had the stolen rare coins, and we had the young single mom who had the kid, and she was competing with Tyler for, being the investigator. So that's where you might know Dirk from, but he's also been in 60 other credits, a lot of one-offs from the X-Files to ER to Criminal Minds, et cetera, et cetera. So Dirk Blocker doing a fantastic job in the world of acting.
I want to interview Dirk because he's got a hell of a name.
Dirk Blocker? Yes, he does, doesn't he?
Oh, my God. You change one of those letters, it's a completely different experience.
You're not a kid in there. Which, if I may, as a side note, the movie that came out maybe 4 or 5 years ago called Blocker, starring John Cena and Ike Barinholtz, really underrated comedy. It's really good.
It's so good. It is so good. That was the movie that made me a John Cena fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
this guy can do comedy because he commits to the bit, and he still does. Like, if you need John Cena to do something in a movie for a laugh, he will do it. Yeah.
It was a good. I totally was like, oh, this movie is going to be terrible. It's going to be crap. But man, oh man, it was good. So. All right, moving on to our next individual, our next guest star, John DeQuino, I believe is how it's pronounced, and I hopefully didn't butcher that last name, but he will be playing the role of Dwayne Meeks. You may also know him as his recurring role of President Richard Martinez on Corey in the House and Hannah Montana. He played Stuart Dunson on Jag, Mr. Randall on Third Rock from the Sun, Ed Hamilton on Dexter, Larry O'Shea on That's My Bush, Perry Hutchins on Melrose Place, Benjamin Krieg on Sequest 2032, and he also played Jim Roper on season 4, episode 6 of Matlock, called The Clown, where Ben defends a clown charged with murder. This was the one that had the old disgruntled clown that traveled with the circus, and he supposedly killed his partner over jealousy. And he also has about another 70 some odd roles as well. So John DeQuino, quite an actor, if you will.
That's my bush. I don't want to get political with anybody, but if you got a good sense of humor, go find that show and watch it. It is so funny.
Yeah, it was good. It was a Comedy Central show, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, South Park guys.
Oh yeah, it's Parker and Stone. I forgot about that. Well, our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is Michael McGrady, who will be playing the role of Walt. You may also know him as Frank Barnes on Ray Donovan, Detective Philip Van Adder on American Crime Story, Detective Daniel Solinger, on Southland, Captain Harrington on SEAL Team, Tom Matthews in Beyond, Raymond Brown on 24, and 90 other credits to his name.
He was on a show called Paradise, which was on Hulu last year. Guys, go find it and watch it. It is really good.
And interestingly enough, we have one final individual to talk about. And I guess I'm just a little bit surprised that this gentleman didn't get more hype or get more screen time or whatnot. But let's talk about child actor Jordan Christopher Michael. He only had 11 credits to his resume. I kind of was thrown off by that. I just assumed that maybe if you were a cute kid in the 80s and you were halfway decent as an actor, you would get a little more roles. But I guess I'm wrong.
I guess so, but he's slowly making a comeback now in what looks like horror movies. Half Dead Fred, Pancake Man. You know, at first I thought it was Jonathan Brandis until I started to think about the timing, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's not Jonathan Brandis. But
I did the exact same thing. In those first few seconds, I thought the same exact thing. So
rest in peace to Jonathan Brandis. Gotta love that guy with growing up. But yes, he did an episode of Saved by the Bell and Matlock. That's pretty much in Full House. He was Rusty in Full House. That's probably where I recognized him from.
Yeah, and that's the most credits that he had, right? Because he had like 3 or 4 credits there. All right. Well, Jason, it's time for me to ask you a question. Are you ready to give your opinion, solely your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you?
I do.
Then it's time to testify.
Sorry, everybody. Give me a second.
What happened?
Where's the music? Oh no!
Great producer Justin, who is off on a trip to St. Louis this weekend. So sorry about that. But
yeah, you guys can find Justin in St. Louis, where the guns play and rain all day. Some got jobs, some smoke yay.
Is that a Nelly reference?
All day.
It's a Nelly reference, isn't it?
It is.
All right. Anyways, let's get into it here. Our opening scene is a comic book being creative. It's a mix of like sketches and live action. There's a woman that's walking around the city at night, and then she's accosted by a thug, and then Mr. Awesome shows up to save the day. I guess if you were a superhero here in this particular episode, that you're more of a gentler, kinder superhero. As I wrote down, hopefully the thugs would not get a Punisher or Batman-like superhero. Jimmy gets some bar napkins for the bartender, and I believe Walt as well, because Jimmy's a young kid hanging out in the back storage room of a bar. Parent of the year, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, the bar owner is apparently a cheapskate, because he says something, and Anne, who is the mother to Jimmy, says, well, if you paid me a little bit more, I wouldn't have to bring him to work with me. I could hire a babysitter. That's actually a valid point, I suppose.
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. But Jimmy is told, hey, look, it's a school night. You got to go back in the back and get some Z's. Now, can I ask real quickly, Jason? Because, again, I don't have children. How stressful is it to be a parent that has to make sure that their child gets their homework done, gets a good night's sleep, gets to school on time, et cetera, et cetera? How stressful is that?
Dude, I've been blessed in that regard with Kylie, but it is hard when you're doing it by yourself. It's easier when you have a partner. Like back when I was married, it's so much easier, but I got lucky because I was married during the hard years. So, but yeah, no, it's tough to do by yourself. Okay. So tough.
Well, Dwayne is in the bar and he hits on Anne, and then we get a surprise, a breath of fresh air. Guess who's in the bar? Not there to snoop, not there to gather information, just hanging out. Guess who's there? Our good friend, Conrad McMasters.
Yes, he is. He's getting his groove on.
He is somewhat getting his groove on, and he's also shown people how it's done. Who rode that mechanical bull like a master? That's right, Conrad. Conrad, he lasted all. Isn't it 8 seconds you got to last? I think that's I think so, isn't it?
Yeah, John. I mean, don't ask a woman, but yes.
Okay. Well, that's why I'm asking you, so, because you're my time here. But anyway.
8 seconds seems long enough.
Okay. I think it's 8 seconds. You know what? If we're wrong, let us know. And how can they let us know, Jason?
You guys can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
Or you can find us on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast and let us know. But I think it's 8 seconds. I'm pretty sure of it. Anyways, Conrad also chats a little bit with Anne. Again, kind of flirty, if you will. And after the bar closes, we cut to a scene where Dwayne is waiting in the parking lot for Anne. And he just wants to talk, and they end up getting into an argument. She basically says, we're through. I don't want to see you anymore. Dwayne gets a little handsy with Anne. Jimmy pulls out a stun gun. That escalated quickly. Anne pulls out a stun gun. I wrote down Jimmy pulls out a stun gun. That's not... That's one bad mofo you don't want to mess with, that 11-year-old. I'm sorry. Anne pulls out a stun gun. Dwayne hits Anne, and of course she drops the stun gun. He pushes down Jimmy, and Walt to the rescue, man. You're gonna stop it. You're gonna knock this stuff off. And Anne tells Dwayne, stop by tomorrow, pick up all your stuff because we're through. Get your crap out of my apartment. So, Jason, so far, what are you thinking about this episode? What are your comments so far?
I don't know what to think of this episode so far. I'm getting, because I just watched Coyote Ugly, so I'm getting Coyote Ugly vibes a little bit.
Oh, Piper Paraboo. Whatever happened to her?
I don't know. She should be in more things. Hallmark, you guys should reach out.
Yeah. She was in an NBC show, like a cop show on NBC. I don't remember what it was called, though, man. But Piper Paraboo, she was quite the it girl in Hollywood for a while there. All right, so Dwayne is at the apartment. He's packing up his stuff, and lo and behold, somebody sneaks in and they kill Dwayne. They hit him with the stun gun, and then they do a vase to the face, and that's it for him, man. He deader than a doornail. But guess what? Anne stops by the apartment. She finds a dead Dwayne laying on the floor, and the apartment manager just happens to be walking by, and he sticks his head in as well. So that means we got to go to police headquarters, right? And we have Conrad trying to convince Ben to take the case, right?
Every time I try to change a light bulb, one of my friends has a friend that needs help in a murder investigation. Ben, get better friends, because if your friends are committing murders, then maybe they shouldn't be your friends.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with you 100% on that one. I love the comment, well, if she's so great, why don't I just nominate her for president? Oh, look at Ben being a little bit sassy, if you will. Did you find anything out about Piper Paraboo? Because I know you're waiting to tell us.
No, I didn't even look. I'm doing it.
I thought you looked. I thought that's why you were waiting patiently. All right. Well, anyways.
Doing it now. Sorry to let everybody down.
You didn't let anybody down. We just was wondering if you looked it up. This first meeting with Anne, Ben, and Conrad are very, very awkward. And it gets so awkward that Conrad starts like coaching Anne, and this annoys Ben. Like every question Ben has, Conrad's answering it for him. Anne says, look, I don't have the stun gun. It got knocked out of my hand and it fell in the parking lot, so it's probably still in the parking lot. And there's more coaching and more annoyance from Conrad to Ben. I will say this. I did really like this. The kind of the transitions that they would do from a drawing of Jimmy's artwork to the real world. I like that. That was pretty good. This scene, before you let us know about what you find about Miss Piper Paraboo. So this particular make-believe scene has Jimmy walking from school, and he has three bullies like dogging him. Man, your mom's a murderer. Jason, I have a question. If you just let's go back real quick to being in middle school. If you heard that somebody's mom or dad had killed somebody, would you mess with them?
I would not, John.
I wouldn't either. Just on the fact that maybe that tendency to murder people might be hereditary, I would have kept my mouth shut and certainly not made fun of them. All right, what do you say? What's Piper Paraboo been in recently?
Piper Paraboo recently has been in Grey's Anatomy, Yellowstone, Billions, Big Leap. She's working. She's in very successful things. So I take back everything I just said. And she was in the USA show Covert Affairs, I believe is what you were thinking about, John.
That's it. Covert Affairs. All right. Well, nonetheless, Walt stops by and to check out Jimmy's comic book at his place, because that's where Jimmy is staying right now, because their apartment is a crime scene. And Walt realizes that Mr. Awesome is actually him. And then they do a fantastically complicated handshake for no reason. And my question is this that popped in my head. How much you think they pay rent-wise? What do you think? $1,200 a month?
$1,200 a month for the 90s?
Yeah, I don't know. No, that's current prices.
Yeah, that's current prices. But it is Atlanta.
I'm going to say, well, let me think. When I paid rent in the late 90s, I think it's
like $500 or $600 a month.
I would say $485. I think it was somewhere like the 480s, almost 500. Yeah. Oh man, if only we could go back to those prices.
Yeah.
I know.
It'll never happen.
No, it's not. It's only going to get higher and higher. Ben interviews the apartment manager, and he tells him that Jimmy has this little place up on the roof of the building where he likes to go and hang out and draw and kind of be by himself. Conrad finds out as they're looking at the apartment of Anne that there's a busted back door, and this could have been the point of entry for the murderer. Ben really likes Jimmy's artwork, and I like how Ben covers the rear ends by saying, "Oh, Jimmy draws a lot of violent things." Yeah, the Satanic Panic we're just a few years removed from that. I thought
for a second, I don't know when in this episode, but I thought for a second maybe the kid did it.
Really?
For a second,
Okay.
I was riding that wave with Ben because he was there too. Like maybe the kid did it. Stick up for his mom. This guy's a jerk face.
Sneak attack him with the stun gun, then smash his face in. Well, maybe. Well, Ben is at Anne's bar, and Conrad is riding the bull again. And I don't know, did Conrad ride to the full time limit? I don't know, but Ben was like, "Why would you do that? That's so stupid. What happens if you get hurt?" Blah, blah, blah. What a killjoy Ben is sometimes, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, we need to talk about Lorraine. She is one of the bartenders there at the bar. And
you don't really hear that name anymore, do you? Kid's name Lorraine.
Lorraine is not a very popular name anymore. I don't think so.
It needs to come back, folks. Name your kids Lorraine McFly and whatever your last name is.
Right. Or make it rhyme. If your last name is Payne, then give it Lorraine Spain Payne. There you go. Your kids won't hate you at all for that.
Yeah. Make up a word for the middle name, like Flane, Lorraine, Flane, Spain.
Okay. Or if you're a big Fantastic Four fan, you can say flame. Anyways.
What rhymes with Lorraine, guys? Email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
This is what happens. We don't have Justin to keep us on track. Just shenanigans ensue.
And keep in mind, everybody that's emailed us has ended up on this show. So it could be you next.
You're right. You never know. Anyways, Lorraine is interviewed by Ben. She dated Dwayne for a little bit before he started to date Anne. Then we cut to a scene where Walt is in the back alley of some place and he's beating the crap out of somebody. He's basically a collector for a bookie. We cut to a scene that's not even necessary, I think. It is where everybody's doing the dance. And I don't know if the dance was the boot scoot boogie. I don't know. Jason, what do you think about this scene? Because I think it's unnecessary.
It's just to add to the mystique that is Conrad. It's the 10th step, man.
Yeah, like I know what the 10th step is. Anyways, Ben interviews Walt. And then Ben chats with Jimmy. And I think that Jimmy talks about how he's not very popular at school. And I have a feeling, Jason, this is that era where comic books were not cool. You know what I mean? Like we're still in that early 90s, that lull.
Comic books were not cool in 92. Comic books were not cool in 92. I know because I was probably Jimmy's age at 92 and they were not. There was lots of lockers involved and other fun stuff.
Lockers? You mean you were pushed into a locker, weren't you?
I was attempted to. The lockers were like this big, so there's no way I was getting in one, but
yeah. Well, anyways, Jimmy reveals that he doesn't like Dwayne. All right, so then we cut to Ben's house, where Conrad found out that Jimmy was not at school the day of the murder. And so they go to the rooftop, they being the apartment manager and Ben, and lo and behold, in the little like tree house, so to speak, that Jimmy has created for himself, there is the stun gun. So, Jason, you have some credence to your theory. Ben later on in a subsequent scene will confront Jimmy regarding the stun gun and his alibi. And, you know, Jimmy just is like, look, I took it because I was afraid that there might be prints on it. And, you know, I witnessed somebody coming in and out of the apartment, but I didn't see who. And, you know, at this point, I think Ben thinks Walt is the guy who did it. And Walt would have a very good alibi for doing that, or reason for doing that, excuse me. We cut to a scene where Lorraine is also riding the bull, and she does it very, very well. And then as she is talking to Conrad, a dude walks by and goes, "Hey, I remember you, man. You're from Waco. Yeah." And which she is like, "I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I have no idea." Conrad is talking to Lorraine, and she reveals that Walt is in love with Anne, which I think this is one of the small little nitpicky type of things that I have to say about this episode, is that it's clearly obvious that those two are going to hook up. You know what I mean?
Is it? I didn't see it.
I saw it from the get-go.
I did too.
Walt is working out during his interview with Ben. I thought that was a little bit rude. Walt's alibi is that he was with a married woman, Tina Sadowski. Tina Sadowski. What a troublesome dame she is, that old Tina Sadowski. I just enjoy that name. That name is hilarious. She sounds like she's a transplant from Milwaukee. So Conrad chats with Tina while Ben is chatting with Walt. And kind of their stories, they seem way too close together, and then at the end they kind of just fall apart. So the alibi is probably not going to hold. And in fact, in the next scene, we find out that Walt is collecting some money from Al, but he is a kneecapper, an arm breaker with a heart. Because man, Al's like, all I got's this is $85. And
yeah, but he does try to break the arm, and then he's like, "Please do my left arm so I can still throw a ball with the boy."
Yeah.
And then he's like, so he gives him the extra money, but he has a week to pay him back.
That's right. He's got a week. And meanwhile, watching from the shadows is Ben Matlock. Ben basically says, okay, so your alibi doesn't hold. All right, where were you the night of the day of the murder? And Walt's like, look, you cannot let Jimmy know that I do this. All right, we just can't do this. So Jimmy, as we're back at the apartment, Jimmy dates all of his pictures. And so Ben sees something very, very odd with one of the pictures. Conrad calls and says that he has news. So we cut to the courtroom. Lorraine is on the stand. And Ben is questioning her about dating Dwayne because Dwayne's dated everybody. I mean, Anne, Lorraine, Sally, who we're going to find out about in a little bit.
Jenny. Brenda.
Jenny. Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lane.
all of them. There's a rare case of there's a rampant case of venereal disease that happens just in that bar for some odd reason. No one can figure it out. Centers for Disease Control can't figure it out. Anyways, Ben realizes that Lorraine is sending checks to Dwayne. Checks for what, you may ask? Well, it's a loan. But he hasn't given you any of the money back. Oh, no. He is doing this. He is getting blackmail money. That's why he's doing this. Lorraine's actual real name is Sissy Lockwood. And you know what she is? She's Cowgirl of the year 1985. She's been living a double life. Why? Because she has a warrant out for robbery because she was dating some other scumbag and they decided to rob a gas station. And she's been on the run ever since. And so Sissy killed Dwayne to end the blackmail payments. And the reason why we know that is because of the belt buckle, man. A belt buckle you get for being the champion of barrel racing. And she had it on earlier in the week. And then after the murder, or the day of the murder, Dwayne had it. And so that belt buckle, because it was on Sissy and then later on Dwayne, is enough to get a conviction. Oh, excuse me. And also Dwayne was sleeping with somebody else. We mentioned Sally. So Anne is found not guilty. And we find out that there's going to be a new superhero, probably on Image or maybe on Dynamite or Boom. One of those companies is putting out Justice Man. And he has a cape. Why does he have a cape, Jason?
So he can fly.
Woo! Yeah. All right. Well, Jason, with that, is there anything else you want to talk about, or should we go on into our closing statements?
This is the part of the podcast where John and I will rate the show, and I gave us the 1 gavel means, 5 gavels means we absolutely loved it. Negative 30 gavels. We're going to move somewhere. We're going to become comic book artists. We're going to actually use that as a front to launder money, and it's going to be fantastic. John and I are about to become very, very rich. Unfortunately, I did not give this negative 30 gavels. I gave it 3.5 gavels. It was a good show. There's some elements in the show that I liked, but didn't necessarily fit the tone of just Matlock in general, which is like the comic writing and stuff on the screen. But overall, I thought it was fun. Yeah, Matlock, get better friends.
You know what? I got to say something. Justin, we miss you. You are the glue that holds this podcast together, and clearly...
No, we don't miss you, Justin. I just muted John so I could talk over him. John is saying Jason is the greatest producer of all time. We don't need Justin on this show anymore. We're good to go for life. Right, John?
Am I no longer unmuted or muted?
God, you were never muted.
All right. Anyways, I gave it a 4. I gave this episode 4 gavels. I liked the comic book inserts. I like the idea that we went with the single mom character. I also think that Walt was very good as a 3-dimensional character. I really liked him. My only gripe was this. You're going to use a kid's drawing as evidence in a murder case.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you going to do with it? Come
on. That's ridiculous. Get real, man. So that's my only gripe that I had for the episode. So, all right, let's talk about our own personal podcasting projects. What's going on with 3 Geeks and the Big Binge?
Yes, I take back everything I just said about Justin. Justin is amazing. We're live. We're live currently on the off weeks of Mattalk. So next week there will be a new episode. And we moved to our own podcast feed. So guys, go subscribe. Also, 3 Geeks Podcast live Saturdays at 7 p.m. So much is happening. We just interviewed a DC animated writer who has a Kickstarter out called Area 51 Studios. Guys, go check that out as well.
Hey, are you going to be in town next weekend?
No, I'm going to the Outer Banks.
For what?
Concerts.
Really? It's not a convention? Oh.
I'm going to hang out with Autumn and Jamie. It's going to be a good time.
Wait a minute. When are you going to a convention? When is that?
July 19th.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought there was a convention somewhere in your future. Okay. All right. Anyways. All right. Hey, as for me, my own personal podcasting project is the PVD Cast. It's available at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. This week's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is an interesting one as we as I sit down with Corey from Wilkie's Movies and Music. In February, Corey was a guest, and we talked all about his YouTube channel, and we focused just on the kind of the movie side of things. And I was like, you know what? We don't talk enough music on the PVD Cast. So I invited him on. We had a great time talking about our favorite bands, favorite songs, great concerts, even a little bit of like technology, like debate, if you will. What's better, streaming or vinyl? So check it out, pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
I prefer vinyl, but streaming is so much more convenient. So I'm going to give streaming the edge, but I agree. I actually like CDs too.
Well, I'm going to hold my comments. You're going to have to go over to the episode and check it out. 483 is the episode number. Check it out and find out what I think. So
Corey has officially been on more PVD Cast episodes than me that are not pre-records of like this or 3 Geeks, and I am sad. But enough about me and my problems, guys. As they say in court,
nothing further.